With you today, the dynamic duo of the GOAT, Mike Gallagher, and yours truly, Joe Messino.
The godfather of nutrition. I thought you were going to say Batman and Robin.
They're old.
Okay, yeah.
They're old hat,
Dynamic
old
duo,
school.
huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we wanted to talk to you today a little bit about weight loss because look, it's summertime, right? And weight loss is really a year-round thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mike?
Everybody's concerned about it. And let's face it, Joe, as a country, how many people are obese right now? Statistically,
it's about 50% of the population, I think.
Yeah. I think it's even worse.
It might be worse.
I thought it was close to 3 out of 4 right now.
Ouch. Well, I'll tell you what is that high is the incidence of the underlying causes of obesity, and that is insulin resistance.
Yes.
At the core of it, right?
Right.
And remember years ago, I mean, we were really addressing this years ago with Syndrome X.
Yes.
Right? Now, Syndrome X, otherwise known as
metabolic syndrome.
Right. Now, you take an X, right? It's got 4 points. So there was 4 points to metabolic syndrome, and that was insulin resistance, obesity, hypertension, and hypercholesterolemia.
Right. Blood pressure and cholesterol.
And blood fat.
That's right.
And so those are still the underlying causes, right?
That's
today.
Right. That's right.
And if you had to pinpoint one mistake that everybody makes when they start a weight loss protocol, what would that be?
Well,
what should they do first?
I think we need to focus on the foundation, and we need to focus on protein and foods first, right? Is that where you're going at?
Nope.
Right? Okay.
That's not where I'm going.
All right. So which direction you going? Tell me.
I'm going to the direction of if you're going to burn fat, what does that fat have to be free of? Toxins.
Free of, yes.
We have to detox, right?
Yes.
You got to detox first. Yeah, look, you can only burn fat. I mean, you can only burn fat or lean muscle for energy. Okay, so if fat cells are housing multiple toxins, they cannot be burned as energy. So where is that going to leave you? Burning lean muscle, right?
That's right.
And, the whole weight loss industry adage of calories in and calories out is so outdated and to me completely false because, folks, you cannot eat a calorie. Show me one.
Yeah.
Let me see what it looks like. If I can eat it, I should be able to see what it looks like. But you can't, right? Because it doesn't exist. It's a unit of measurement, heat measurement. All right. So they use this in the weight loss industry for decades to sell weight loss programs. They would succeed, they would fail, they would go up, they'd go down. And it never really addressed the central core issues, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's correct, Joe. And plus, there's a lot of other factors too. Inflammation as a whole. And we were just talking about that this morning, right, on our call. There's definitely an inflammation component of weight. There's a hormonal component of weight. Bad estrogen can hold fat, right? And as women go through different stages of life, this is very common. There can be a thyroid issue,
right?
Blood sugar. I mean, there's not one simple black and white.
No.
But we try to kind of cover a lot of different areas and bases with some of our formulas. But you're right. You got to eat the right foods in the right proportions. You got to exercise. You got to keep the stress down under control. That's another issue, the cortisol, right?
Cortisol is a huge issue.
And this is why, again, if it was simple, everybody be doing it. But
and that's a good point, Mike, because it was simple a long time ago.
When was that, Joe?
Oh, that was before the electronic age, right? When when most of your day was spent with physical activity.
Yep.
As kids, where our day was physical activity. There was no iPads, there was no phones, there was no internet. So what did that do? That bred complacency with physical activity.
Right.
So now, the majority of the day for kids is spent on electronic devices.
Right. And they say sitting is the new smoking.
That's right.
Right. lack of activity. So you got to move, folks. Bodies are meant to move at least 30 minutes a day, doing something that you like. It shouldn't be brutal. Obviously, beautiful weather out. You can always get outside. The greatest playground there is, greatest gym there is outside. But even, should be some type of both cardiovascular and muscular, right?
Yes.
Combination.
Absolutely. And the muscular part of it, strength training, probably to me more important in the long run.
Yeah.
Than cardiovascular.
Right.
For aging, we've seen this for a long time. Bones, you need muscle to protect your bones.
Yes.
So this is what we should be doing on a regular basis. And that doesn't mean you have to be at the gym pounding all kind of iron. Body weight resistance is just as effective.
That's right. So I would just say push-ups, sit-ups, do things at home, right? All different types of things you can do.
Oh, yeah.
But, Nike said it best. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it, right?
I'm going to add something to that.
Go ahead.
How about just do it now?
Yes.
Now.
Don't wait.
Don't wait.
And, Joe, people always make excuses and busy this and that. Yeah. And I get it. There's always time. But you can squeeze in things 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You can squeeze it in. And if you ever need a little motivation, there's stuff on YouTube, videos out there with people with no hands, no feet, doing crazy, incredible things.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't motivate you, and you have 2 hands and 2 feet, and you still can't say, can't do it. I don't know. They always light a fire under my butt.
It's funny, Mike, because I was in a doctor's office yesterday up in New England, up in the Boston area with our rep up there, our man in Boston, Rashid. And they had, it was a nice office with a gym component and everything. And on the big screen, they were playing all these, videos and things. And they put something up there. And I don't know if this was theirs or somebody invented it, but it was called Cozy Cardio. Guess what that is? They had people, they said, you don't need to, they had people in their pajamas in bed, just getting up or stretching and doing a little cardio as they get out of bed with their pajamas on. It's like, and it reminded me of one of my ideas that never came to fruition. We've had lots of those, you and I. But I had an idea way back when, my early days of traveling. I'm traveling quite a bit now, but in my early days, I was traveling on a regular basis every week. And I thought, I hated hotel gyms.
Yeah.
Didn't like, and I didn't want to bring extra equipment or extra clothes, all that stuff. So I came up with this idea for the naked workout.
Oh, yes.
Remember that, Mike?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
And of course, so that's just that's the hook, the name.
Yeah.
Because you don't do it naked, but you don't need any equipment. You can do it in a hotel room. That was the concept. You have a chair, you can do step-ups. You have a bed, you can do push-ups and dips and things like that. So there's ways. Is what we're trying to say is there are ways to do it without any cost, without leaving your house.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So food. Let's go to food.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, know your sources, right? Always know your sources. Organic, grass-fed. Know your local farmers. Folks, if you read the ingredients, you can't pronounce it or spell it, put it down.
Yeah, remember that was part of Joe's label law.
Yes.
Way back when.
Yes.
If there's words on the label that you can't pronounce or don't know the meaning of, do not eat the product.
That's right.
Wow, is that simple or what?
It's simple.
How about a shameless plug? Coyne Family Farms, COYNE, the best grass-fed local beef, chicken, pork, and eggs in the area, folks. Look them up. Coyne Family Farms.
Okay. Nice. Beautiful. And so, yes, that's really important. And also another common, simple one. If it's in a box, don't eat it. How about that? Right?
I mean, do you have to follow this 100%?
No. You're always going to have parties, birthdays,
Sure.
things like this, special occasions.
Yeah.
But what we don't want is one meal turn into one bad day, turn into one bad week. It snowballs out of control. And sooner or later you wake up and you're 50 to 100 pounds overweight.
Exactly.
Right.
So, everybody probably knows of the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the time you should be doing all the right things, right? 20%, hey, have a little fun, right? Yeah. But most people, Mike, do the 20-80 rule.
Right. They flip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'll have something healthy today. Well, it doesn't work that way.
Or they have a salad with fries on it.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh tradition.
Pittsburgh salads.
Pittsburgh style. Right?
Oh, God, yeah.
So, folks, again, these are just a lot of good tips. If you haven't worked out in a while, of course, you should always warm up, stretch, go slow, or work with a professional, right? But one of the things, if you ever work with a certified personal trainer, is they take your body fat analysis. And this is the other misconception that people have regarding weight loss.
Right.
They always focus on the pounds.
Right.
But muscle weighs more than fat.
Mm-hmm.
And so, people are so hung up on the weight, on the pounds, but
Right.
you want to measure your body fat analysis. Your body composition is what really we want to change. Right. So that's always the other plug. So we always want to emphasize that. And that's the difference working with a professional or someone certified too as well. So when we get into some of these weight loss things and things that we can do to jumpstart, and that's the word we would use, jumpstart weight loss, don't focus on the scale.
No.
In fact, Dr. Len's weight loss program, he says don't get on the scale for 90 days.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Go by your clothes as well. That's
how do
your
your clothes
feel, right?
Yep.
They should feel looser. But again, just simply checking your body fat analysis is also critical.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we could go a lot of different ways, Joe,
Sure.
nutritionally. But since you're talking about food, let's talk about our detox. Since you just mentioned that a minute ago, Joe. Right? So we have this very simple, easy, tastes great detox program that works on so many different levels. But one of the things they can do is really jumpstart weight loss faster than anything else. Right? So we start with let's start with the protein powder. Okay. So folks, we know there's lots of protein smoothies out there and we have lots in our own line, but this one, the Ultimate Shake. So I'm just pulling this off our website. Okay. So this is more than a protein shake.
Yes.
As we list here, as Joe always says, it's both macro and micronutrients, plant-based protein, and it has the detox ingredients here that pulls those toxins from the body all at the same time, right?
Right. You got to assist. Yeah, your liver is your detoxification organ.
Right.
But you got to assist it. You got to help it. Why? Because we've overloaded it. Right? We've overloaded our liver to the point where it cannot handle the toxic load anymore. So what do? Well, you give it what it needs to work more efficiently. And those nutrients are in this shake.
And the other thing, too, is I always say we can walk out right now to the parking lot and go get hit with car fumes passing by.
Yeah, sure.
And maybe that one time doesn't affect you, but over time it builds and builds and builds.
Right.
And soon the dam breaks, right? And that's your body, okay? And so we really want to not only eat the right foods, but have the additional nutrients that's going to support it as a meal. And, one of the toughest meals for a lot of people is breakfast, right? It's all carb driven. The cereal, the milk with the sugar, has the sugar in it, right? And the sugar, right? And then you have the bread, the toast,
Remember Dr. Weiner used to call it cardboard with sugar on top.
That's right.
Yeah.
In fact, he always said the cardboard had more fiber, more nutrient than the box, than the cereal itself, right? So you have all this, you have, again, all the carb-driven foods, and again, spikes up your blood sugar, and then you crash, and then you get hungry again.
Right.
So if you have a protein for breakfast, okay, number one, it's very nutrient dense, it's very low calories, and it stabilizes your blood sugar. And that's what we want, folks. So, Jamie, of course, Jamie Dorley, CEO and owner of the company, he always calls it the Shake a Day Club, right? But this would be the best shake if we're trying to lose weight, as well as many other health benefits.
And as well as it is a complete meal replacement, like it says right there.
That's right.
So if you want a shake that's more than just a protein shake, this is where you want to go, the Ultimate Shake.
That's right. So we called it the Ultimate Shake because it has all your vitamins and minerals and all the absorbable forms, right?
Right.
So it covers that aspect of it. Can you still take a multi? Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need as much though if you're doing this.
Sure.
Because you got
cut the dosage in half.
Cut the dose in half. The same thing with minerals. It has a very unique folate
right
form, right? This is very critical for at least half the country has a genetic SNP called MTHFR, where they cannot break down regular folic acid, but you can break this down. So it's a really big deal. You have the fiber in here as well, which is also unique from a protein perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But then finally, you have the detox matrix ingredients, which are all your key amino acids, which we list there at the bottom left paragraph there, your NAC, your cysteine, glutamine, threonine, glycine, lysine, taurine, so forth. You need all of these folks. And again, where toxins stored in your fat tissue, and you need to pull it from the fat to make it a water soluble compound. Right. And these are the key nutrients that does that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was just talking to a new practitioner the other day, and she was telling me, you know, she was looking at labs about enzymes, and wherever she had her training, they were recommending, you know, B vitamins for that. I'm like, well, you really need to do a detox here if we're working on liver enzymes, and you need these key aminos for that. And it, you know, for her it was education, and that's what this is, you know, and but these are the key nutrients your body needs.
Let's talk about elevated liver enzymes for a second. Yeah. When does that happen? That happens when your body is overloaded with chemical toxicity. So the liver doesn't have the ability to keep up with it. That's so right. The enzymes go through the roof. So, you know, where a lot of that comes from is from pharmaceutical medications that people are on a daily basis, right? Yep. You may not eat foods laden with chemicals every day, but if you are on a medically prescribed pharmaceutical drug, do they ever skip a day, Mike?
Nope.
Never.
No.
And so the liver is working to detoxify those chemicals every single day. That's why it's overloaded.
Right. And some of the doctors I talked to said one of the things they're seeing more and more is fatty liver disease.
That's right.
Non-alcohol fatty liver disease. Right. So there's another indication, folks, that this is such a major issue. Yeah. So this is going to help on that level as well as many, many other levels. Okay. So very, very unique. We have 2 flavors right now, pineapple, coconut, or vanilla. Joe, which one do you like?
I'll tell you, I love the pineapple coconut. Yeah. I'm a big coconut guy anyway. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's very good. It's delicious. And neither flavor is overwhelming, the pineapple or the coconut.
No, very light.
They blend very, very well together.
They blend very light, folks. So this is your protein to start out your morning or any time of the day. And if you want even faster results, we can increase the dosage, sure. Right? This would take the place of a meal. Mm-hmm. So that's first part of this process, right? First part of the program. Then we get into the next one, and this is a biggie, Joe. Proline greens, right? This is a revolutionary new greens out there. There's a lot of, we see a lot of these out there, but there's nothing quite like this one. So, Joe, do you want to just kind of give you a little take on the greens?
Yeah, you're right. There's nothing like this one out there because it's so much more than just a greens drink. There's lots of greens drinks. Most of them don't taste good. So right off the bat, this one tastes delicious. And there's 2 flavors now, not just the original apple cinnamon, but now with the new chocolate flavor, we even have that kid approved.
Yes.
Okay. Kid approved.
Yes.
So right off the bat, it's going to beat most of the ones out there because of the flavor. But after that, we go so far beyond just greens that it's ridiculous. Nobody could ever copy this at this point. And the reason is because we're looking at a situation where we're not just trying to supplement a diet now. We're trying to reverse a long-standing condition. And remember, weight gain and obesity is not a cause, it's an effect. So this has been happening for years, maybe decades. In order to reverse that, you've got to go therapeutic on everything you're taking. You can't do it with food alone.
No. And that's the point. And so if someone just looks at this, they'll say, oh, this is a fruit and vegetable drink. And it is. And do we want you to eat fruit and vegetables? Of course we do. In fact, the latest standards, you need 8 to 10 servings a day. And most people only eat 3. And
how about, Mike, that's when you have all the vitamins and minerals in the soil.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
What the latest is, you need 10 servings of fruits and vegetables to equal one serving of 50 years ago for vitamin and mineral content.
Right.
So that 7, 8, 9 servings becomes 90.
Yeah.
And you can't do it.
And Joe, I was going to say, they might say 3, but they count ketchup and French fries as 2 to 3 there, right?
Yeah.
So that's, but yeah, there were these studies, very famous study, University of Texas compared an apple today from 50 years ago, and you would have to consume 10 of them.
10 of them.
To get the same amount, right? So but this is, first of all, you're getting 5 servings of fruit and veggies per serving, okay? With a wide mix, all different types of fruit and veggies there, and we list them all there for you. But what really makes this unique, Joe, is the detox component to it, right? So we listed it right here, the detox matrix, spirulina, chlorella, which is also great for heavy metals as well, DMG, favorite ingredient of all time, Emotion. This is what really makes this unique. This unique type of glutathione, Joe. It's a crystallized S-acetyl L form, and then you have the NAC. So, Joe, I know we've spent a lot of research and time looking at different types of glutathione. Can you just explain that to the, simplify it to the average person who maybe doesn't even know what glutathione is and what makes this unique?
Well, glutathione is your body's natural and master antioxidant. It has so many, that's just a very general definition, because you can't detox without glutathione.
No.
It's central to that. It's necessary for detoxification. But if your body makes it, that means you got to give your body the components to make it. And as we've been saying all along, we're deficient in those nutrients that your body needs to make glutathione. So for years, decades maybe, we've been looking for a really good bioavailable form of glutathione, right, Mike?
Yes.
You've seen many over the years.
That's always been the most challenge. And it's your master, by the way, also your master detoxifier.
Yes.
But when you take it, and this has always been a challenge in the supplement world, when you take oral forms of glutathione, it typically does not break down and need to go where it needs to go, in the liver. And so it's only getting the job half done. And so this particular patented trademark form, which we call Emotion, has shown to be the most absorbable. It doesn't break down in the stomach. It's the best of the best in the world of glutathione, and there's studies to show this. And I had a doctor the other day said, we waited 30 years for this type of nutrient to come onto the market. So again, we know there's glutathione drips, right?
Yeah.
But now we can get the same benefit as an IV from a detox component.
Exactly. And that was really the only way you got a good amount of glutathione, was through an IV.
That's right. So this is a revolutionary ingredient, folks. Again, some companies just sell this by itself.
Yeah.
We put it in this whole blend of all the key nutrients that supports the entire detox pathway, which makes this unique as a fruit and veggie drink as well. And then we look at some other things we have in here, probiotics in here, Joe, right? We have a natural form of vitamin C that's in here. We have a little energy blend. So that's what a lot of people really notice there. And you have digestive enzymes. I mean, this is loaded. But I also want to just kind of share the story of this formula.
Oh, by the way, and it is gluten-free.
Gluten-free.
Let's just get that out of the way.
Gluten-free.
I got that question this week about this formula, and I can't believe we're still answering that. But yes, it is gluten-free.
Yeah. Soy protein-free, gluten-free, folks. But it is definitely not taste-free. It is excellent, right?
Yeah.
So this kind of, how this formula evolved is that we had some round table discussions. We invite some of our top practitioners, doctors from all around the country and locally to share with us their thoughts, what they're looking for, right? What they would like to have to simplify for their patients and their clients. And when we came to this one, they basically said to us, Joe, can you make a formula that has natural vitamin C, DMG, NAC, glutathione, right? Fruit and veggies, pre and probiotics, digestive enzymes, and oh, by the way, make it taste good.
And we said, anything else?
Yeah. We said, okay. Right. So, folks, all that is in this. It's never been done before. And when I show this to a doctor for the first time, they're blown away. And then when I have them try a sample of this, they're blown away even further. You know, because we added on the apple cinnamon, we added a little bit organic cinnamon in the apple, right? So it actually has a nice refreshing flavor to it. And if you want to flavor it up, you can always add organic apple juice or pineapple juice to it by itself, right? But even by itself, I've had so many different doctors and practitioners tell me this is the best tasting greens they've ever had. And it's one of our top 10 sellers.
Yes, it is.
Now, we did come out with, you mentioned the chocolate flavor, you know, so now this opens up a whole new market, folks, to the younger generation who absolutely can take this as well, right? So we've had 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds. Candace, I think, baby was like 2 or 3 years old.
Right.
Loved it. Right. In fact, Joe, I'll never forget this. I'm talking to this new account, and she had it was over the summer last year, and she had her 12-year-old son there, but you know, during the summertime, and he said, she said, listen, my son doesn't like any of this, but if he likes this, I will buy truckloads of this. Right. I said, okay, let's bring him over. He tried the chocolate. He said, Mom, this is really good. I would drink that. She was shocked. And you know, I said,
Did
Joe,
you get a truckload?
I said, back up the truck.
Back up that truck.
Back it up, baby. No, and again, folks, we really mean it. It is meant to taste good. We know if it doesn't, people won't like it. So we go a long way, a lot of taste testing, a lot of sampling. We really make sure it tastes good. So two flavor options. And now you can combine it with the Ultimate Shake, and you have some really unique ingredients.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing about that. Remember, we said, with the Ultimate Shake, you have all your macro and micronutrients. So you have protein, carbs, fiber, and good fat. There's your macros. Then you have all the micros, vitamins, minerals, amino acids. The only thing missing are the phytonutrients, and that's what you get with the greens.
That's right. So very simply, for breakfast, if you mix a scoop of the pineapple Ultimate Shake with the apple cinnamon, it tastes like pina colada. All right. Pina colada, Apple Jacks. Right?
Apple Jacks.
I've had healthy Apple Jacks, right?
All right.
If you mix the pineapple coconut Ultimate Shake with the chocolate greens, right? It tastes like a healthy Almond Joy.
Oh, I like Almond Joy.
Yeah. You know, not that we eat these, but back in the day, right?
Back in the day.
Now, if you mix the vanilla Ultimate Shake with the apple cinnamon greens, right?
Okay.
Right. So that one really tastes more like a Jolly Rancho, right? And if you mix it with the chocolate greens, a healthy Wendy's Frosty, right? Yes.
What about a Mounds bar?
Oh, no. You know, the
vanilla,
you can
do.
Well, the vanilla.
Sometimes you feel like
right. So giving you some healthy tips, folks. This is very simple. Combine the two, the best of both worlds.
Yep.
Protein and fruit and veggies and your macros, as Joe said, in one drink, and it's food, and it will cleanse you, and it will start you on this journey down the weight loss path. It doesn't get any simpler than that, Joe, right?
No.
And very affordable.
One of the few times it's both simple and easy.
That's right. And then the last component of the program, Joe, is a pill. And this is not just any pill. Live Complete. So now we're up to third generation detox, working on 4 stages or 4 phases. So let's just talk about that, what we mean by 4 phases of cellular detoxification, Joe.
So you have to, as we said, pull those toxins out of the fat cells. Now, that's stage 1. Yeah. That's called chelating. And that comes from a Greek word, which means to claw. So you're actually scraping those toxins out of those cells. But then where do they go, Mike? Back to the liver.
That's right.
So now you have to address that and assist the liver in now processing those toxins. That's stage 2. Then you want to eliminate them once the liver processes them. And sometimes you will eliminate them through the bladder, stage 3, sometimes through the bowel, stage 4.
That's right. So now we're at stage 4, folks. For the longest time, it was phase 1 and phase 2. And then about 10 years ago, it's about maybe 15 years now, phase 3. And now we're up to phase 4, getting maximum
a good
detoxification.
point here, Mike. Sorry to interrupt you. Is that if you don't get phase 3 and 4 and eliminate them, where do they go?
They recircle back in your body.
Circle back into the body.
That's right. So this is the only phase 4 cellular detoxification formula in the market. So let's take a look what this is, Joe, right? So let's break this down. Live Complete. So we look at the supplemental facts there, right? So you can see loaded, right? Vitacholine, very unique nutrient that helps support the liver as well as great for the brain.
Sure.
Okay. Selenium, chlorella, again, we talked about a second ago, right?
How about the fact that it's cracked cell wall chlorella?
Yes,
why is that important?
Because you want to crack the cell of the chlorella in order for it to absorb, to make it bioavailable, the most bioavailable source of chlorella in there. DMG again, but very unique bacillus coagulans, Joe. So a lot of people are maybe not familiar with that. Can you just explain that one?
Yeah, bacillus coagulant is a form of a probiotic. It's a spore-based probiotic, or soil-based is another way to explain it, which means it's of the earth. It is actually nature's first probiotic. It's what goes into everything that comes from the earth. And the beauty of it is it's shelf stable at any temperature.
That's right.
So it can stay there and it'll work with everybody.
The other component now, folks, what the emergent research is the GI connection with detoxification, as Dr. Len Bransowitz, one of our top doctors on staff, the gut guy, he's showed us the connection, and now we're approaching it with this particular probiotic. It also helps declare the detox as well. So also very unique on that level. Couple highlights also here. That glutathione we just talked about, folks, the Emotion is in this capsule as well. And this is the only capsule detox that we have it in, by the way. We have the most unique form of grapeseed extract from an antioxidant level. Activin has the most research, has the milk thistle in there as well, the uva-ursi, the burdock to help with the kidney and bladder, all in one. Okay. All in one. There's no other capsule like this.
How about that little clinical pearl we learned from Dr. Len a while back? You know how everybody is talking about the gut being the second brain?
Yep.
Mike?
Yep.
You know, and the connection through the vagus nerve from the brain to the gut. Well, Doc but instructed us that the gut is actually the first brain. Because in a fetus, it develops before the brain does.
Yep.
So it got a bad rap. It was always number 2. And now it's number 1. It's that important, the gut. And even Hippocrates said 4,000 years ago, all disease starts in the gut.
That's right.
It's that important.
Famous saying, death begins in the colon too, right?
There you go.
So 3 caps a day, folks, is what we would normally recommend. And to make it even easier, we put it all together in this solution brochure. So this is available on the website under catalog, right? And wellness solutions, right? But we've already opened it up. You just go to this right arrow, you click it on. This is what it would look like. We give you all 3 options, and you can modify this any way you want. If you want to do a 7-day program, you can do it. You want to do 14, you can do it. 21 day, you can do it. You decide at your pace how fast you want the results. There's the general guideline on healthy foods to focus on, right? So many diets tell you what not to eat. We tell you what to eat.
What to eat.
What to eat. What you should be eating every day.
And there's a lot of food there.
Right.
This is not a starvation thing.
No. And I also hear that. A lot of some other companies, they use, a very restrictive dietary. It can be very challenging and difficult. We want to make this as simple as possible. So you may have the shake for breakfast, 3 cups a day. You can have it more than once a day if you want fast results. This is the fastest and simplest way to lose weight, folks. We can't explain it, any better.
You know what I love about this, Mike? The topic today is new innovations in weight loss. If you notice, now we've been going all over about 30 minutes. We haven't talked about weight loss supplements yet. We've talked about lifestyle, and food intake. How do you work your body? What you should eliminate from your body. This is where weight loss begins, not with a pill.
That's right. So what would be the next step after this? Okay. So this is the beginning phase for a lot of people. We'd start here.
Right.
But then what? Right. So again, we have different
now
options.
Let's get more therapeutic.
Now let's get more therapeutic. If we're focusing on the blood sugar metabolic side, which is what we started with at the beginning, this is where we have some very unique formulas that we started early last year, right? And now we're continuing the beginning of this year. But this is one of our revolutionary new formulas, Thermogenesis Complete. And this is very unique on many levels, Joe. But it is, it will speed up your metabolism. Okay.
Yep.
And that thermogenic heat that you were talking about as well, at the same time, stabilize your blood sugar. And this is always the tricky part about it. And so we still want you to eat, but
without a stimulant.
Without a stimulant. Right. So let's break this down, Joe.
Excuse me.
Right. So let's look at what's in this.
Right.
Okay. So we'll come back to the main unique thing here, and we'll save that for the end. But first ingredient, green coffee bean, Joe.
Right.
So you want to explain this one a little bit more, because there's tons of studies on this, and I get a lot of people get confused on what this really is.
Yeah, when they see the word coffee, right, immediately they're going to think, oh, caffeine's going to give me jitters. It's this. I can't drink coffee. I can't take this. No, that's not the way it is. The coffee bean itself is an antioxidant. All right. When it's processed, that's when all of the good stuff is taken out of it, and what's left is pretty much mostly caffeine. But the coffee bean itself has two major components called caffeic acid and chlorogenic acids. These are what give it its power, give it its strength, give it its ability to be a source of energy in the body.
Right.
You get all of that energy without the adverse effect of the caffeine.
Right. It's more like cellular energy.
Right.
And so I've seen things like you would have to consume like one serving of this is equivalent to like 10 cups of decaf coffee, right? It's not like regular coffee.
No.
So we want to just break down those barriers and let people realize and understand this. Tons of study for this, for all these different metabolic markers that we're talking about, not just weight loss, but blood sugar, as well as lipid levels, as well as blood pressure on that. Then the second very unique ingredient is Ervingia. And this is also known as African mango.
Right.
Right. So this is working on a different aspect of your weight issues, and that is your hormones, that blood sugar and insulin controls. So they are adiponectin, leptin, and ghrelin.
Right.
And this is what controls cravings and how hungry you are.
When most people hear the word hormone, they think testosterone, estrogen.
Yep.
Maybe they'll think of insulin.
Yeah, maybe. Progesterone.
There's a lot. No, yeah. But these are hormones that regulate feeling hungry and feeling full. Right?
That's right. And every single diabetic, it is out of balance in one of these. And so this ingredient, Ervingia, helps to rebalance these hormones naturally, safely. And we'll talk about a patented form of that here in a minute, but let's see what else we have in this, Joe. Raspberry ketones. It acts very similar to the Ervingia. Also helps with these hormonal issues.
Right.
Okay. Then we have the mulberry leaf. Very unique, which we used to sell by itself.
Right.
Right. But this is an Asian herb, and there's tremendous amount of research on this for these type of metabolic issues. Right. So the old famous around the mulberry bush we go, right? But there's only one source in this one. This is a completely different type of mulberry, but tremendous research on that. And then last but not least, another, Capsamax, two more.
Yep.
Capsamax. And this is what produces that heat without being a stimulant. Okay, the red hot chili pepper.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then lastly, Garcinia, which is a great appetite suppressant, as mainstream likes to use. I prefer to use the term portion control because it really helps you with your portions. And we used to sell this as an individual ingredient,
That's right.
right?
Yes, we
and
did.
we know that works by itself, and we put it all in one formula. But this is the most unique thing about this, Joe, is this new patented trademark form
Yep.
of the Herbangia called IGOB131.
Is that the Obi-Wan Kenobi of nutrients?
This is the Obi-Wan Kenobi of hormone fat loss.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So your master Jedi on your hormones, right? On your fat hormones.
You should have a sound effect of the lightsaber
Where
here.
is it?
Phil.
Where is it, Phil? You're
Come on.
slipping. Right? But folks, there's studies on this one that are unbelievable. People have lost 20, 30 pounds in 8 to 12 weeks with this, right? So you notice what I said, 2 to 3 months, not 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
Why? Because it takes 2 to 3 months to rebalance those hormones. And that's the big thing that we want to emphasize, Joe. If we just go in with this formula and you just want to try one bottle, does it work? Sometimes. But you really want to give this a fair shake. We really want to give this 2 to 3 months because that is what the studies have shown.
And remember what we said earlier. This is not what you're not addressing what you did last week. Okay, this isn't weight gain based on last week. It's based on years of lifestyle, right? Years.
Right.
So give it a couple of months.
You didn't wake up 50 pounds overweight.
No.
Right? You got to give us a couple months. Now, every day, every week should be better, right? And the first thing people do notice, they're not as hungry. Right? So the dosage on this would be 3 a day, 3 capsules a day, Joe. Again, I've heard all different ways you can take it. I would try it a little bit, trial and error.
Yep.
I know Dr. Len recommends it 3 before breakfast in the morning. I've had other practitioners who try 3 right before supper.
Sure.
And it really helps curb the late night munchies and things like this. But I know Jamie likes to take before a workout. Right? So you can do a lot of different ways, folks. But the bottom line,
just
3 a
take
day.
it.
Just take it. One bottle lasts 1 month. And we have had some incredible results with this formula. In fact, I've had some incredible testimonials. People lost 30, 40, 50 pounds just on this alone. Okay. So this is one of the new novel things that we came out with. At the beginning of the year, we came out with the second one, Nutriglutide. Okay. Supporting healthy blood sugar and weight loss, even differently than thermogenesis.
Yes.
Right. So Joe, do you want to explain the difference between the two? Because we get asked that question sometimes.
Sure. You know, we started this off talking about metabolic syndrome and syndrome X. And two of the biggest factors in metabolic syndrome are insulin resistance and stress that causes insulin resistance. So what we're really addressing here, amongst other things, but the main thing we're addressing here is blood sugar, which affects insulin. We're addressing insulin resistance itself, and we're addressing cortisol-related insulin resistance, because these are all things that will cause this to happen. Now, let's explain first what insulin resistance is. When you eat food, any food, your body turns it to glucose. Then you make insulin to drive that glucose into the cell. Insulin's the carrier of that energy source, of which is glucose, into the cell. If you are eating more sugar than you should, which most of us are, your body has a hard time keeping up with the amount of insulin to make. But there's another factor, and we talked about this earlier, and that's nutrient depletion. When your body makes insulin to drive the glucose into the cell itself has a gatekeeper. And that gatekeeper that opens the cell and allows insulin to bring that glucose in is chromium, a trace mineral. Now, if you need 10 servings of fruits and vegetables to equal one of 50 years ago, and we're saying that our soil is depleted of vitamins and minerals, the first thing to be depleted will be trace minerals, because they're in micrograms, not milligrams. It's the smallest amount. So it's a safe bet that just about everybody out there is deficient in chromium. So when insulin tries to drive it in and the cell doesn't open up, guess what happens? Your body says, oh, I guess I didn't make enough insulin. Starts making more. Overproduces, and now you're in insulin resistance.
That's right. And then further along, turn it pre-diabetic, then it goes into diabetic, your pancreas completely shuts down, and then you need insulin. So this is at the beginning stage of this process, the insulin resistance stage. Yes. We're trying to catch it before it gets worse.
Right.
We're trying to turn it around. So that has the longer lasting effects on the blood sugar. But you just mentioned, we talked about stress and cortisol. This can help with that as well, as you mentioned.
Yes.
And the inflammation side as well of weight. Right.
Well, weight gain is inflammation.
Yeah. It's just a byproduct.
Right.
It's just a symptom. So this will help with all those folks. So let's take a look what's in this that makes it unique. Right. So Joe mentioned a minute, the chromium. And by the way, this is the most absorbable form. This nicotinate glycinate chelate form of it from Albion. Folks, if you don't see Albion next to the name, it's not the best. Right. That's we spent a lot of time and effort researching the best minerals out there. This is by far the best. Berberine, and this is not just your normal berberine, Joe. This is a patented trademark form of berberine. And so we know berberine helps on many levels, right? Anti-candida, we use it in our candy kill. We have it by itself as a tincture.
Yep.
But we know it can help us support all these other functions, on the blood sugar side, which is why we have it in this one in this unique patented form. Cinnalin, this is also very unique, Joe. This is a patented trademark form of cinnamon. And so they made it much more absorbable than regular cinnamon. And cinnamon goes back many years ago. Just taking cinnamon helped regulate blood sugar.
A good point here, Mike, is the reason we use this form of cinnamon is because originally with just cinnamon extract, you need about 1,000 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
But with this form of cinnamon, it has been reduced so that it's more bioavailable. You only need about 1/4 of that amount.
Great point, Joe. Right? So we're making it even easier for you. Better forms there. Okay. The Capsimax, which you talked a minute ago, the red hot chili peppers is in this. L-theanine and ashwagandha help with that cortisol. Right? They really help on the stress side. Again, patented forms of those. Very unique. But the most unique of them all, Joe, is this CertMax.
Ah, yes. Right? Tell us about that, Mike.
CertMax. So it also goes by the name of Thai black ginger. And of all the practitioners that I work with, I've only met one that actually knew about this.
Is that right?
And he lived in Vietnam for a couple of years.
Well, that explains it.
In the Asian culture, this is very well known, but in the United States, it's not.
Yes.
But it's the newest of the new in the industry in the United States for blood sugar support as well as weight loss support. And it also will help with everything else we're talking about here, folks. The insulin resistance, the blood pressure, the fatty liver, and anti-inflammatory all in one. So that's one side to this, Joe. The other side is the sirtuins, which help with telomere activity. Ooh. And I know you are the expert in this, Joe. So can you just give a simple brief what telomeres are and how this can help with?
Well, okay. So telomeres are the caps to your DNA. So if you have the best way to explain it is a shoestring that has a plastic cap on it. If that cap comes off the shoestring frays. A telomere is the cap of your DNA. So it protects it from premature degradation.
Aging.
Also
known as aging.
Yeah, also known as aging.
Yeah.
So sirtuins are nutrients that activate the enzyme telomerase that helps your body protect the telomeres. Okay, so what are sirtuins? Well, resveratrol is a sirtuin.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the most famous.
Green tea, curcumin. These are all types of sirtuins that will, and they've all shown in studies, to activate telomerase to protect the telomeres.
That's right. But now we can add to the list this CertMax because they've done head-to-head studies versus resveratrol, folks, and it was twice as effective as resveratrol for anti-aging benefits.
Right.
So one side of this is the insulin resistant, metabolic syndrome, weight loss, all that, which is fantastic. The other unique thing about this is the anti-aging benefits all in one ingredient. And that's just one, Joe. So, Joe, nothing like this out there.
Nothing like this. No.
And the dosage is just 2 a day.
I know. It's incredible.
Right?
Yes.
So, one before breakfast and supper is primarily recommended, but you can do both same time. Doesn't matter. But 2 a day. So, again, if we're working on labs to show these lab results, usually takes 3 months. So make it a 3-month program, right? So if you bundle this together with the thermogenesis, you're going to get an incredible combination of different mechanisms, all jump starting your weight loss program. So now we detoxed you, Joe. You're cleansed. Right? We're eating the right foods. And now we have the right nutrients to take it to the next level.
Therapeutically take you to the next level.
Therapeutically, right? So we put it all in this booklet, right? So just like we had the detox one, we have the weight loss one, right? So we loaded it there. There's some other things we could do. Tonalline is great for belly fat, good fat there. Control helps with stress eating. Any of the shakes, you can continue the ultimate shake if you've been doing a detox.
Sure can.
Right?
Yeah.
But there it is, the diet all laid out, nice and neat, simple, right? And we can't make it any easier, Joe, can we?
Nope. And this is great because practitioners can use these guides as a script pad. You know, give it, mark it off. Here's what I want you to take. Here's how much. Here's when to take it. Right?
So
it's your roadmap. It's your blueprint.
Right? Put it on the fridge.
The only thing you have to do
is stick with it. Follow through.
Follow it.
Knowing is half the battle. Following through, sticking with it, making a commitment. Right?
Yep.
That's all we can ask, right?
That's it.
So I think we covered a lot, Joe.
There's the new innovations in weight loss.
There it is,
all right? Good deal.
Do we have any questions, Phil? Dana says hello.
Who, my Dana?
Yeah,
Dana. Oh, okay.
What other Dana would it be?
Well, I know a couple of them.
All right, okay. All right, Joe. All right, so, any final thoughts?
You know, only final thoughts are take control, right? It's up to you, nobody else. Don't look for a shortcut. Address your life. It's about lifestyle. And everything starts with what you put in your mouth.
That's right. Make a decision every day.
All right.
So,
thanks, guys.
Folks, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Come on down. All day today, Friday, all day Saturday. Free samples, literature. Everything is on special. Free. The food is incredible.
Bars open.
Smoothie. Everything. So come on down, folks.
All right.
Love to see you.
See you guys.
All right. God bless.